tilt that up a bit.
How are you? If any of you were just over on Instagram and this is your first time joining our lovely, lovely family here, because we are a family, we know...
Are we?
Well, we are really.
Oh,
We're a coffee moaning family.
Oh, I see. Yes.
Yeah, we sort of meet up here every morning. And this is Mark, if you've never met Mark, my husband, because of course some people won't have done.
I think there's a fair share of people who find me very annoying already, so they know me very well.
Yes. No, but I'm just saying if anyone new's come
So if you're new,
Instagram,
get ready and be prepared. You're going to be annoyed.
And if this is your first time joining Coffee Moaning, please give us the hand emoji waving, and so we can call out your name and welcome you. And guys, subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell, because then you can be notified when we're doing shit.
And just if you feel like it, hit the thumbs up as we head along.
And you know what? One day we might not have that box, Mange 2 and green bags out the back of
I
the
do keep asking
door.
Nadia about the Mange 2. Willing her to do something about
There's a
it.
load of Mange 2 just scattered.
I think Toffee or Chi Chi knocked it over.
I feel a bit like...
Which one move over?
I don't know why. Do I feel shorter? Do I need to put...
Maybe you need a cushion through it.
it?
Morning, Stephanie Wheeler, Amy Roper. Good morning. Tracy Golden, Vigain family. Thank you very much. Sending love. That's very kind of you.
Look what I've done.
Oh, that's amazing.
Do you like
That's
it?
lovely. That's very sweet. Yeah.
This I
Did
found...
you do the eyes?
Yeah.
Sorry, did you do the eyelashes?
Yeah.
Ah.
This I found has been... Not really. This I have found. This is what I'm going to end up doing. This is the sample. We were just talking earlier over on Instagram about things that are helping us escape our mind a bit. Kiki and I did some embroidery the other day. How old-fashioned is that? And I can't tell you how soothing it is. And again, it just takes you away from your own thoughts, which at the moment I don't think are doing us, any of us any good. And, you know, I was thinking, having just watched Bridgerton and just watched actually how horrendous it was to be in the upper classes, you actually understand a bit more that embroidery, that way of just taking their mind away.
Means of escape.
Oh, means of escape.
Well, it was a little bit like fubbing of its day, wasn't it? Where you snub by being on the phone.
Yeah, fubbing. We've
So
got to do
in a
that.
sense, you could just be on your what are they called? Tapestries? What are they called? Pieces of what's it? Embroidery.
Embroidery.
So you'd be on your embroidery disc, not texting. But really, history is just a long process of us all finding ways of distracting ourselves from talking to people we don't want to talk to.
Yeah.
Don't you think? I think alcohol being the biggest
Yeah.
thing in that.
What are some of the ways that you distract?
Fubbing. Fubbing is to snub someone on the phone. So
it's a great...
you might be in sort of like a classic example would be a bunch of celebs in the green room. None of them really wanted to talk to each other, so they all go on their phones and fub each other. See what I mean?
Welcome, Sophie
Here, it's here.
and
Struther
Struther
Kalthal.
My God, that's a name to
That's
conjure
going to be a
with.
difficult one to embroider
We've got to
into
sing
into
your
a
song.
We're going to embroider you into a song.
Cross-stitching, somebody's saying there. Cross-stitching
Can I
is
just
good.
ask a question about embroidery?
That's from Emma McDonald. Uses cross-stitching to escape into a mindful place.
Can I
away
ask a
from
question
COVID.
about embroidery? Which and it's a genuine question, because when I was a kid, when I was a boy, and there were very few things in the 70s to keep us distracted, my nan at one point bought me those panels that had all the colours already on
Yes,
them.
that's what they're talking about, cross-stitch.
Oh, is that cross-stitch? But
Yeah.
so the picture's already printed.
Yeah, should we get some?
You just confirm
Yeah.
it. So it's like painting
Well,
by
that's
numbers,
like
but with
these.
embroidery,
These
right?
have already got a line on,
Ah.
and then you stitch around.
So,
them.
and I'm just
Get them on
asking the question.
Etsy.
I think, but when I was a boy, I kind of quite quickly went, I don't understand the point of this, because I'm just recreating what's already been created.
Because.
But is it like
But
painting
the
by? Is it
whole
like painting by
point of
number?
mindfulness is there doesn't need to be a
Right.
point to it. You're
Yeah.
just taking
That's
your
why I'm
mind away.
asking, yeah.
Actually, Leor, I don't know if Leor's here. Leor, you would be really good at drawing these simple lines.
Hmm.
It's a little business you could have there. They do them on Etsy. This one's on Etsy,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I mean it's quite expensive actually. But oh my God,
tapestry,
Kiki and I had
embroidery.
such a laugh. Did you hear us? She was
No.
in hysterics
Was she?
every time I was trying to thread the needle.
Oh.
She was just watching
you couldn't
from
see
the
it.
other side. She was in hysterics. And then she wanted a really long thread.
Oh.
Every time she pulled the thread through, honest to God, I thought I was going to lose an eyeball. It was nothing like Bridgerton, I can tell you. But we got there in the end, and it was very satisfying.
Yeah, no, I mean, I suppose, yeah, colouring in, I know that it brings a lot of, and I used to love doing that with the kids, but I find that, I mean, I don't know if this is just me, I think it's just a me thing. I find it really hard to
Yeah, but that's
jettison. No, I get it, and it's my struggle with mindfulness. But I find it unless there's a sort of I'm creating something original, I can't do it.
Well, but the thing is with you is you can draw. So why don't you just get the paints out like I did yesterday? I mean, I can't. I'm not a drawer. But just putting paint on a piece of paper was really mindful. It just took me away from my head.
I think it's because there's always the danger that there's so many things. It is about allowing yourself the luxury of time.
But you said to me to do it. Why can't you do it?
No, I agree. But it would have to be something like that. I mean, I've got this Yamodo. Is it Yamodo? I've got a drawing lesson. I literally haven't really had the time since.
You haven't allowed
Christmas.
yourself.
Well, I haven't
the
allowed
time.
myself, but I mean, I've hardly been sitting around twiddling my thumbs.
No, but you haven't allowed yourself that time for
Jane
you.
Mansbridge, you did recommend watercolour to me last year, and I'm desperate to do it. You really did, and you.
But
you gave me very
I took
detailed
you up on it.
recommendations. Yeah.
And I really,
I feel like a failure, Jane.
I think it would be so nice if sometimes you just handed over an hour as well. We could just sit and just do it.
Yeah, but can I be honest? I think I struggle with the idea that we all have to do it together.
Well, you don't have to. I'm just trying.
No,
I just think
I know it's a
you
nice
won't
thing.
feel so bad. You could do it on your own.
Yeah.
But I just think you wouldn't feel so bad if everyone was doing it.
Look, there's
Like, do you remember before when we had that habit of sitting and making those cards, and we used to really love it? We all used to do it together.
Well, I'm thinking
Mark,
of relaunching
show them
those.
some of your cards. Go
No,
and
well, I
get
can't
them.
find them. They're not at hand.
I'm such a mum.
Oh.
Show them your cards.
I'll just go into the loft quickly. 8 hours later, here you go.
He's
You've all gone.
Like, Mark is such a good drawer. He's good at everything. Like yesterday, he made the best omelette I've ever had in my life.
Oh, did any of the members see that? Did any of you see that?
Oh
I
my
must admit, I
God,
was
he
quite
made an
impressed with
omelette souffle that was out of this world. It really, really was. That's why you made my dinner for me last
I know,
night.
it was nice, wasn't it?
Really
Oh,
nice.
no, and also I like the fact that it was plumptious, fluffy, and quite something.
God, it was good.
Go and check it out. It's on the playlist.
Jeez, it
on
was
your
good.
mark, get set, cook. Just a couple of people here sharing all of your thoughts on what you do to while away there.
Jigsaws.
Jigsaws, Jane O'Neill.
Why don't we get a jigsaw table?
Now, again.
Then you can have it
no,
out
but
all
you
the
see,
time. Jigsaws on an iPad.
I have a fond memory
didn't
of
know
jigsaws because it was one of the few occasions where I have memories of my mum being at my nan's for Christmas, but she would always be on a jigsaw, doing a jigsaw. But I have the same problem with jigsaw. It's mindfulness I have a problem with it.
But darling,
what's
this
the
is
point?
why you're a raging addict.
What's the point?
Because you won't stop.
Right.
Wendy Keast. Can you write down Wendy's name?
Jane Mansbridge, I want you to tell me the things that you said to tell me.
Yes, thank you, Jane
No,
Mansbridge.
and I feel bad. And
I
look,
took you
this
up
hasn't
on
been
that.
a willful ignorance. It's just been a not
He's a
allowing myself
workaholic.
the luxury. Yeah. Stuart G wishes he could find a hobby.
A jigsaw mat where you roll it up.
That's a
Can
good
you
idea.
do that?
Hi, Teresa Dunn. Deborah Holdsworth crochets. Is that crocheting?
No,
What's
crochet. Oh, I couldn't do
What's it
crochet.
that
That's
Izzy
when you
does?
just
What's
have
Izzy
one
does?
hook and they go like this and they create. I mean, they're genius.
But what do you crochet? What do you make?
You can make anything.
But is it like a form of knitting?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
So
but it's not
anything you
knitting.
knit, you could crochet.
Oh.
You could do a dress. You could. I mean, in the 60s, it was really in crochet dresses.
Oh.
Crochet is really coming back.
What is it that Izzy does on her
Patchworking.
patchworking? I mean, I think
she's very good.
She's very good. She's very good. There's a real.
I'm
sort
going to
of-
do sewing today and art today again because I'm going to
Oh,
just
look at
do
that.
it. If I keep doing it, maybe you won't feel bad about doing it.
Sarah. Where have you
Play-Doh.
gone? It's Play-Doh. Yes, Sarah.
I
Doe.
love Play-Doh.
I just called you Sarah Doe. It wasn't Sarah Doe, was it? You just said Play-Doh. Claire Smiley. I used to love word searches when I was a kid.
Word search, excellent.
Vicky
Takes you out of
Baldwin.
yourself.
Diamond painting. Nicholas Strawmark trying
Diamond
Airfix
painting,
models
what's
or
that?
3D jigsaws.
Airfix models.
I know, but I've got this terrible sort
Oh
of.
God, here we go. Everything. Has anyone noticed how everything
No,
has a ball? You'll
I-
get addicted and you'll get millions of them.
No, it's not that. No,
You
no.
will.
No, it's just that I don't
You'll
know.
get millions.
Airfix, I just feel a bit.
Sad because you want
Yeah.
to be a boy, or it takes you back to your terrible childhood.
No. I used to love doing Airfix models with my granddad, but
If you come for the news, we
I
do
don't
get
know.
to the news. If this is your first time with
Yeah,
us, for the
sorry,
news,
guys.
we always have a little chat first to ease us into the horrors of the day.
diamond painting.
Sudoku, that's for maths people. I
Josephine
can't do
Bailey,
it.
the next instalment of Cornwall landed last night. It's very funny. If you do Cathy in the heather of the hills of Cornwall. You literally emerge. You
Oh, it
emerge.
was so much fun, that trip.
And we all head down to we build a citadel
It was so
out of a
fun.
penis-shaped strange thing in the sand.
Yeah.
It's very fun. It's a really fun,
It was
lovely
such a lovely
Cornish
holiday.
roll.
I think
Yeah.
we just wanted, it was just that sense of freedom. I think we'd felt so grown up for so long before we went away on that holiday, didn't we, with COVID and everything?
A lot of people are talking about diamond painting.
I don't know what that
What
is.
is diamond painting? What is it?
Look it up.
Look it up. Wendy Keast, I've got your welcome as a family guest. Christine Saunderson, talking of cards, haven't received my card before Christmas. We do. Christine Saunderson must be one of the ones that's just gone AWOL. A whole heap went out again yesterday, and I did a backtrack.
Oh.
I think some people might be getting two. Christine Saunderson, can you remind Michelle, of your
Diamonds.
address, and we can reissue another one. Photobox that does our cards has discontinued the kind of cards we've done. So I've gone to another bloody thing, Popsa. They don't even do cards. It's an absolute nightmare trying to get cards manufactured at the moment.
Oh, look at this.
So, but I am working on it.
That's
guys. And all the
diamond
books
painting
have
when you
gone out.
stick little diamonds on.
Oh, I see.
Oh, that's cool,
Diamond
isn't
painting.
it?
So
My
Christine
God,
Saunderson
that would
did
take
that.
you away from your mind.
Yeah. Emma Staple, I like nostalgic TV, not really mindfulness, but more distraction. I also have a jigsaw board that you can zip up and slide under the bed. That sounds really professional. That you can
That's
walk into
really
a room,
good.
zip. I've got some jigsaw doing to do. Mark, do you ever meditate?
Please say hello to John Jenkins. He's
sorry.
watching. He's a lorry driver. He's on a break and he's watching. Make his day for him, for you, and Mark's saying.
Oh, John Jenkins.
John Jenkins. We've said hello to you before. John Jenkins.
Hello,
John
John.
Jenkins. Hello, John
Hello.
Jenkins.
Where have you pulled up? I want to know where you are and where
Are
you're
you having
going.
a nice sandwich and a thermos
I hope
flask
so.
of something?
I hope so.
Soup.
Are you in
Or a
this
nice
horrid
coffee.
rain? And
Oh,
well done
God.
on just keep constantly driving in this pandemic.
Oh my God! Yeah, lots of love from us.
Stuart-
Hope you're feeling a bit better.
Stuart
today,
G
Louise.
reminds us that Lego is good. Me and the girls did a Lego.
No, he
AT-AT.
doesn't, Karen Ula. He doesn't meditate.
No, it's like
He
there's
does
a
about
time
2
lag, isn't it?
minutes sometimes when we do yoga, but
What's macrame?
you're doing yoga tomorrow. brother.
What's macrame? Sage Junkie says.
Macrame. Isn't
Sounds
that a
really-
bit like crochet?
Why has it suddenly gone silent? I'm really nervous.
I'm thinking of macrame.
I thought it was a kind of pasta.
No, macaroni.
Can I have
And
macrame?
macaronis.
My mam crochets. I can't do it, but can knit. Selena Lou Fogg.
Can you?
Yeah, I was always obsessed with women who could knit so fast. Do you remember that? They'd be like,
At one time, I could knit fairly fast.
could you?
Yeah, I just didn't do it for decades, and then you
Yeah,
just.
there used to be knitting clubs, didn't there, and things like
Yeah.
that. I remember our
And
friend,
so I used to love sewing.
one of our friends was always telling me about. So there was like, weren't there some sort of anarchist knitters that were sort of knitting things and putting them on things in town? The anarchist knitters, I quite like that. You can make hanging plant holders with macrame. I still that makes it no clearer. What is macrame?
Claire's smiling. My psychologist says to me to do some meditation apps. Well, there are Calm is the one I use, but there's also Insight Timer I use as well. Yeah, I need to get back to doing that every day because it really helps me when I do it every day. You don't have to do it for long. And the biggest myth about meditation is people who say, oh, I can't do meditation, I can't empty my mind. Well, that's the whole point about meditation. You don't empty your mind, you just learn how to let see thoughts and let them pass by. So people that say that, like me, are the people that need meditation the most.
Julie Everett. Julie Everett homes in on what I thought was my personal highlight of the Cornish vlog last night. As we arrive back at the top of Kynot's Cove, I say, Mum, smell the heather. And Nanny Di goes, fuck the heather. I think she was knackered, but her one-liners are epic.
It's like my mum's one-liners.
Yeah, it's very good. Julia Olivius crafts some more. I love this chat today, Nadia Mark. It takes me away from everything and mine. Thanks. Oh,
And you're a crafty person.
you're crafty.
So,
Crafty person.
Karen Bennett, my daughter is learning the keyboard. Yep, we are starting as from today to give time over because we've got this lovely piano, but it's come to light that the girls feel bad about playing it because they don't want to disturb anybody. And I said, listen,
ridiculous.
take half an hour, everyone a day to just practice that piano.
Angela
because-
Locke says that macrame is kind of plaited weaving. Thank you.
Plaited weaving.
That
Oh,
gives me
thank
an
you.
image that I can work with. Thank you. Corabelle. Hello,
Sharon
Mark and Nadia from the west of
Tattersall.
Ireland.
Hello,
Corabelle.
West of Ireland.
Beautiful
I still want to go
name.
to Ireland. You're
It's
welcome,
like,
Claire.
it's like, can I just say, a lot of Irish names are like they have been cut from ancient
I know they
precious
do.
earth.
Yeah, they do.
Don't they?
Yeah,
it's
they're
like
great,
they've been
their names.
crafted
Yeah.
from something ancient and they're sort of beautiful new things. It's just, I love Irish names.
Deborah Holdsworth, the best thing to do is look on YouTube to learn how to do things like crochet. It's true. I mean, there is no longer any excuse for not learning anything you want to learn because if you find the right YouTube, oh my God, you know, some people, I mean, We
Well, I
were
use
following
YouTube-
this sewing one.
Sorry, go on.
Go on.
No.
This sewing one, and you know, she showed so perfectly how to do each stitch. Nice close-up camera. It was like, because I am more of a visual learner than an audio learner because of my ADHD. My brain skips when I'm listening, but if I'm watching something, I'm much better. If only they recognised this stuff at school when we were kids, visual learners, audio learners. 'Cause you know, there's a real difference. But now they do in schools. They know that, and they skew things for kids whichever way they're going.
Elijah, you never need to be sorry for being late. Sometimes we're late, and that's okay. Sarah Clemmy, I've been washing all the family cars. It's actually been enjoyable rather than a chore. Yeah, those repetitive. I mean, I do understand the point of a repetitive.
I wish I could feel
I
that
find
way
it really
about cleaning
hard
the
to
cupboards.
sit down and I just find it impossible.
I just wish I could get that, like Stacey does, you know, where you just get that real buzz from cleaning out the cupboards and all of that, because that's exactly the same thing. It's mindful. It's like Stacey was saying the other day, I can't do meditation, I can't do, she goes, I like to do crafts. I said, but that is that is it. Because have you seen her? She's brilliant at crafting. And she'll just do stuff to you know, she makes lovely things and it just takes her away from her head. But if only I could get mindful about the effing cupboards, because they're driving me to drink. They really are.
Now, Nadia was having a bit of a tough day yesterday. I'm having a bit of a tough day already today.
I am having a tough day still.
Obviously, going to the news now, that was a really nice distraction, wasn't it? Just to not think about it. But I think this is another kind of nice but sort of heartwarming but sad distraction, of course, is Captain Tom Moore.
Do you know, Captain Tom Moore came along at a time when we were all pretty damn hopeless, wasn't he? This is my idea of him.
Yeah.
And he was just a thoroughly nice chap. It really wasn't more complicated than that. He was a decent soul. He was a good man.
Not complicated.
Not complicated.
No.
He was a decent, good man. And I love the way that this country and then the world responded to him. Yeah. And that gave, I was thinking this morning while I was washing up, which I hate, I was thinking, what was it about him? And I think it was that he kind of restored my faith in humanity, not only because of the way he was, but the way that everyone responded to him. The fact that everyone wanted this avuncular presence. We all needed somebody, didn't we? And then, like, over the last few weeks on Loose Women, we've been talking a lot about how we can't cry and how we want to cry. And he made me cry yesterday. I cried yesterday because again, at a point where we feel hopeless in a different way, he reminded us of, you know, how we can all, as quite simple human beings, make a difference. Of course, he made a massive difference, 40 million for the
33
NHS.
million, yeah.
No, 40 with the tax,
40?
they were saying this morning, yeah. So, with the gift aid. So he just, he a simple, decent, upstanding gentleman. That's
Do you know what I particularly liked about his ascendancy, if you like, was the fact that at a time where, in the crisis, I think anyone over a certain age, we were only thinking of or being talked of as a sort of victim or a potential death. You know, when we had a country that appeared to be sort of consigning everyone in care homes to the dustbin. I'm not saying that's what they were doing, but I mean, you know, there was a confused signals.
People were losing sight.
At a point where there was a sort of intolerance societally for the fact that this is something that affects older people, but we're all having to change our lives.
Yeah.
I thought he was a remarkable democratizer of age.
Yes.
And he sort of reminded us that just because you're over a certain age, doesn't mean you need to be invisible. And I do think this is a really important thing, because I really feel for your mum and your dad and my mum. Because there comes a point, I don't know if people feel this in all families, where people over a certain age almost just become ignored because they're over a certain age. Yeah. And it's very hard for them to get their sort of point of view
across. He gave
across.
Visibility to his generation and made us all think, come on a minute, let's not just have this, you know, amalgamation of old people and we're having to look after old people. They're all individuals with an incredible amount of life experience. It's very important for a decent and good society to have that. So,
and he reset things from it was a different generation, and of course I think all of us have grandparents that we can all relate him to. And I do hate this thing of when people say, oh, well, he had a good innings and all that kind of stuff. I've always maintained, and I've always said, my nanny Thelma was incredibly important to me. The longer
It's true,
someone's
Sarah,
been
Thelma.
around, the more there is to miss
Yeah.
in many regards, just because you can sit and sort of relax at the idea that, okay, well, he had a good innings and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, of course. But that, I always feel that somehow societally we're saying you shouldn't feel as much grief when someone old dies, because, you know, but actually
No, but what
the
you can
absence is so
feel-
much more.
But what you can feel, I think if somebody that you love dies at an older age and they've had a good life, like Kay's always really good about that. Of course, she's desperately sad that she lost her parents, but she said they had a good life,
Yeah, no,
and
of
that
course.
makes me feel good. And I think sometimes when we say that, that's actually what we're saying. Oh, well, they had a good life. They were loved. They had a good family. They, you know, they had food on the table. They had a cozy home. They had all those things, and that's good. I think it's incredibly hard when you lose somebody. I think a parent or something, when I would imagine, that's had a terrible life, that didn't have a good life behind them. So I don't think it necessarily means when you say you've had a good innings.
No, but I do sometimes think there's an assumption. So, for example,
Assumption that it won't hurt as
no.
much.
For example, you know, a lot of people might be at work, you know, pre-pandemic, and you have a loss in the family. If you lose someone who's young, everyone understands that you probably need 2 weeks off and that you're a mess. Because it's a grandparent, I think there's a lack of an understanding as to the significance of grandparents in a lot of younger people's lives. And I think sometimes I do actually think there is a sort of, because our culture is one of get on, move on, push on, carry on. I thought, you know, I do get frustrated sometimes that people just say, well, he had a good life, he had a good innings. I hate those
like, don't be
platitudes.
upset.
Don't be upset.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
infuriating.
Yeah.
And I'm not suggesting that's, I have to confess as well, obviously not always been a fan. We've often expressed how we're not a fan of a lot of Piers Morgan, but I thought he was brilliant in his pull down of the critics of
I didn't see that.
Captain Tom Moore and his family. I thought he was brilliant. I mean, he shied away from using the absolute expletives necessary, but it just needed someone on telly just to say, fuck the lot of you. Excuse my language, because it's just outrageous. And Captain Tom Moore's family have come out and explained that he did test negative en route there and en route back to Barbados after all that nonsense. So
He didn't actually die of COVID. He died of pneumonia. He got pneumonia first. And they were actually saying on the news yesterday, died with COVID. They were making the point of that. But anyway, we don't need to talk about all of this.
But can I just say, I think the reason I feel a bit kind of... So anyway, all of our prayers and all of our thoughts and all of our thanks to the memory of Captain Tom Moore. I think there needs to be a sculpture plopped up in the middle of
There
Parliament
is, they
Square.
said today, I think, that, well, Matt Hancock
Yeah.
was asked and he said that he was
Don't
supportive.
say Matt Hancock, say Matt Hancock. My eyes sort of curl round a bit like the cats in one of those Disney films. Matt Hancock, and being Stockholm Syndrome and all that kind of stuff. Loss is loss, absolutely, Catherine Hyam. Can I just say,
Just gonna get a coffee.
Clodagh Egan, in reference to the thing I was saying about Irish names feeling like they've been chiselled from precious ground, apparently Clodagh Egan's name is from a river that has since disappeared in Tipperary, near Tipperary.
God,
So that's
really?
literally what your name is.
Oh, how interesting.
I just want to share about all this new variant stuff, which is obviously Bristol, Liverpool, parts of Mitcham, London, all that kind of stuff. I think I feel like I can ride with the manipulation of the press. I was left, I don't know if anyone else was, I was left totally confused by the news flow yesterday. I was left
By the news flow yesterday?
by the news flow yesterday.
Yeah.
Felt like I was being tugged one way, then the
Yeah.
other. So
Yeah.
transmissibility, brilliant results. AstraZeneca,
AstraZeneca,
brilliant
brilliant.
results.
Yeah.
New variants, terrible. Certain virologists and immunologists saying this is a terrible development in terms of how the vaccines are going to work.
So confusing.
And so, by the end of the day, was anyone else left feeling, are we in a better place or a worse place?
Flat yesterday, because we didn't know where to put our feelings. And, you know, quite a few of my friends contacted me yesterday, because, you know, I did a post and saying, oh, are you okay? And they were all saying that they feel that, because we don't know how to feel. Like you say, Mark, we listened to a number of interviews yesterday, didn't we, where they were asking the scientists very directly, so what does this mean? Is it going to fuck up the vaccine? And by the end of the interviews, we were more confused than we were at the beginning.
Do you know what my theory on this is? Do you know what I think happened yesterday? I think there was a tandem push and release and the good and bad news was being released at the same time yesterday. And I think the news stations didn't know how to sift through it and process it. I don't think they could work out what the predominant message from yesterday was. And consequently, like Sonia Donovan, I was getting confused. Nicole Marcella, you're not the only one who was confused. Julie Everts, it's the reason we all feel blah. Do you know what I mean? We're all numb now, Jane Belly. I mean, there is all of that. But I also felt that yesterday that we were being tugged in all sorts of different directions. I couldn't work out at one point whether we were being told these variants are really dangerous and we're having to knock on doors and get people to test in order to kind of reiterate to people, lock down, stay at home, you know, stay safe, all that shit, so that the vaccinations get out. Vaccinations are going through the roof. But then it was almost like a tipping point for me yesterday, where I just thought, by the end of the day, I thought, oh, for fuck's sake, where are we? Where are we? Are we in a better place or a worse place? I mean, you know, I just found it very confusing. And I mean, that's not.
What was your decision in the end?
None the wiser. I'm absolutely none the wiser. I mean, I can only assume that we're in a better place because more people have been vaccinated. Do you know what I mean? I mean, well, I tell you what I did in the end. I became utterly distracted by Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos' missions to go to space, because I thought, you know what? I'm sick of this planet. I want to go to another one. And I thought it was big news that Jeff Bezos has left Amazon in order to pursue his intergalactic dreams. So we've got a couple of multi-billionaires with Elon Musk all wanting to evacuate this planet. Maybe this is a boy thing or a male thing. I just wanted to escape into something completely different and completely unrelated. And boys with their toys, essentially, just kind of, I mean, it's of zero significance whether we go to Mars. But I felt I'd rather have that fucking distraction. Do you know what I mean? I thought, this is all Claire Smiley, I want to go to Narnia. Jane Vince, how do you feel about the attack on Whitty? I saw that, the verbal attack on Chris Whitty in the street.
What's this?
I felt, well, it was like a stallholder or someone around him was shouting liar. I felt really sorry for him.
Oh no!
I felt really sorry for him. I thought he looked really vulnerable. I thought he looked really. I didn't see the whole video, but I saw some of it. He was verbally abused in the street and just shouted down as a liar. He was there with his mask.
Oh my god!
I didn't like it at all.
That's disgusting.
I didn't like it at all.
A liar?
You know, I mean, there they are trying to, you know, with
God
all due
almighty,
respect,
and don't
manage.
forget, yesterday, what paper was it you saw? The 18 times that Boris ignored the science.
Oh, the Huffington Post, yeah. The 13 occasions where he didn't follow the science. And I have to say, can I just, I mean, in Whitty's defence and Valence's defence, regardless of what their involvement is with the vaccine commerciality at the background, more Valence than Whitty, they can't dictate government policy, you know, and they go to great lengths to say that, you know, it is the government that dictates policy, and they often say that. What's frustrating the pants off me is that apparently they're not, I saw a piece just landed just shortly before this morning saying they're not going to be able to action the quarantine hotels for at least another 2 to 3 weeks.
What the hell? Oh, that's interesting. LBC today. Thank you, Maybu.
James O'Brien had scientists saying they knew this would happen. It's to be expected, not as bad as media are saying it again.
That seems to be about this variant about tweaking the vaccine. That seems to be the way that the news flow is going today. But yeah, the quarantine hotels, why can't they get the shit together? 10,000 people a day are flying into this country. And just ask politely to self-quarantine. And they're not doing it. They're not doing it.
I mean, I heard someone in defence of this inactivity yesterday, a scientist, saying, well, with all due respect, I think we've got more risk of it being homegrown, than being brought in. But surely...
that's just, I mean, I heard that. What's he talking about?
What was he talking
What was he talking about?
I don't even think it was a he, I think it was a she.
What
were they talking about?
What were they talking about?
What were they talking about, guys?
Look, our Kent variant is causing havoc around the world because it's seeding everywhere. You know, that was wrong. We should have been banned from travelling into other countries. Day one of that, well, actually, a lot of countries were cross, weren't they? Because they said we knew about it since September. But
and then there was silence.
Well, just we've exhausted ourselves.
Can I just say, so Elon Musk's SpaceX ship crashed. Jeff Bezos is hoping to jump on another ship and head off. Ryanair, meanwhile, I'm pleased about this. Ryanair have had their wrists slapped and told to pull down their advert saying, get a jab and book a flight. I thought that was utterly irresponsible.
Unbelievable.
I thought it was utterly irresponsible. Because
jab and fly.
Jab and fly. suggesting it's just trying to get people to kind of part with their shekels in order to kind of book holidays that still might not happen.
But they're trying to save their business.
Yeah, but
So on
they've
the other
been
hand,
slapped back because it was
no, I
inappropriate
know.
and inaccurate.
It was inappropriate. It was tacky. But people are fighting.
EasyJet didn't do it.
People are fighting for their lives at the minute.
Yeah, but EasyJet didn't do it. You don't
Think
go.
about
You
all
don't
the
stick
jobs
to
that
that.
are
You
gonna
don't. No, of course I get all of that, but you've got to think more cleverly and niftily. Say something like, when you get a jab, get a nice little jangle like jab and go in August, or jab and go soon, or look at.
I found it distasteful, but I think a lot of people wouldn't have. I think a lot of people, that is their vibe at the minute. Come on, we're trying to be less judgy.
Hit the thumbs up, guys, if you haven't.
Desperation with Ryanair, yes, says Rima.
Hit the thumbs up if you haven't. Subscribe if you haven't.
Yeah, hit the
And
like
you can get
button.
more of this. You can get more of this.
If you like us.
See, just talking to you guys is helping me, and seeing you all feedback to me is just lovely.
Oh, Beverly.
Beverly Newton, it's your
Happy
birthday.
birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Beverly Newton. Happy birthday to you.
PFIZER have declared their revenue from the vaccine, 15 billion. Big business, isn't it, pharma? Big business. Just saying, it's big business. And it'd be interesting to see how Oxford AstraZeneca compare.
Sorry, that was headline distracted me there.
What headline was that?
See how many people in your area have the antibodies. That was Huffington Post.
How
So
do
they're
you
starting
find
to
that out?
test people now for antibodies. I was just talking to Kaz, my friend who had...
I do know Kaz, I love Kaz.
She loves you. Who had COVID and had very high antibodies like Maddie. And she was saying that the nurse told her that means she had very bad COVID because of how high the antibodies were. And you're good for plasma. But this plasma thing seems to be... Did anyone see John Campbell talking about mouthwash the other day?
Yeah, he was talking about it last night. Yeah. Ava Greenall, wasn't it EasyJet?
Check it out.
Wasn't it EasyJet you guys said that you'd never fly with again after Berlin? Yeah, it was an absolute cluster.
I think we then did fly again, didn't we? Because it was the only flight we could get somewhere else.
Yeah.
We're very good, Mark, and I go, right, that's it. Never doing that again. I contradict all the time.
It was a diabolical mess.
Oh, it was a mess.
Diabolical.
And do you remember how horrible they were to us in the airport?
Do you remember he threatened to take my camera
I
because I was
know.
filming how horrible he was being to us?
He was being vile to somebody else, and Mark started to film it, and he was going to take his camera
he was being
off
horrible
him.
to a woman, yeah.
He was, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He was shouting at her.
Della Nixon, welcome. Not seen that name before.
Della.
Welcome.
I used to know
I love the name Della.
Della.
You'll get your name mangled in a minute. Okay, well, I think that's all the news that I've kind of got there, really. The main thing was to remember dear Captain Tom Moore. I think you're right. I think the news flow on the variants is that... Oh, yeah, mouthwash.
Thank you, Teresa. I'm really glad.
Mo Power asking, what was he saying about mouthwash?
Well, can you just go and watch it, John Campbell? There seems to be data coming out
Brazil.
now. Now, do you remember right at the beginning of the pandemic, they were talking about that possibly mouthwash was one of the tools that you could use in your toolbox to give yourself a bit more protection from COVID. Of course, space, face, ventilate, mask, maybe mouthwash, and there seems to be some good data coming out of it. So go and watch it and make up your own mind. Dr. John Campbell. And it seemed to be the scientist that he was interviewing was saying that it's not just mouth washing, it's gargling. Because the very fine spray that comes up when you gargle goes into the nose. But I watched it again this one. I couldn't work out when they were saying you have to do it. Is it just one
Daily.
Is it just once in the morning before you go out?
Yeah, daily, yeah, because John Campbell was saying he does it every day. This is research that they're going to have more data from in the next 2 to 3 weeks from Brazil.
But it's quite
where
exciting.
it's quite a cost-effective way of reducing the
they've-
the viral load in the mouth.
Yeah, and they've given this entire city, all of them, every single person, this mouthwash. And so far, I can't remember how long they said they've been taking it, but they're already seeing a drop. But make your own mind up. Check it out.
Yeah, that's one of the issues, Sage Junkie. Does it have to be alcohol mouthwash? Not sure on the casual chat. It could be a worry. That would be an issue for me. The alcohol content,
That's what I said to Mark.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have to.
Alcohol in mouthwash. So that could be the thing that's making it work. But don't go drinking mouthwash.
Oh God,
we are
no.
not recommending.
Don't drink it. It's a gargle, exactly, Maureen.
Yeah.
It's not like this. It's this.
It is fascinating, actually, Miss Spice, to see what other countries deem important. You're absolutely right. I mean, Brazil is in an absolute parlor state and have been for a while. So
Heather had a COVID test yesterday and came back negative.
that's good. That's good.
Good news.
There has been a COVID drop in India too. You're absolutely right. So shall we sing out our new members? Did you sing? Was it Jane Mansbridge?
Nope.
Jane
Haven't
Mansbridge.
sang anyone yet.
I thought,
did
oh
a
no,
happy
Jane
birthday.
Jane Mansbridge. You were and my watercolor. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm remembering that. Sophie. Okay, this is going to be a tricky one. So guys, subscribe if you want to subscribe for something similar to this tomorrow. You may want to depart now because Nadia is going to destroy your names. It's a highlight.
So people that have joined
family
the
guests.
family guest area, which is our members area of the channel. There's loads that we do here on the main channel, but we also have a members area where we do extra content.
When are you starting your little 15-minute cooks?
Well, I said we should do a.
Yeah.
It's all up to you.
Pre-shot, isn't it? It's not live.
Yeah, we're going to start doing on the main channel dinners to cook in under 15 minutes.
Nice idea.
Yeah.
So Sophie Anstruther Calthorpe.
Welcome, Sophie Anstruther. Anstruther Calthorpe. Welcome, Sophie Anstruther Calthorpe.
Anstruther Calthorpe.
Anstruther
Calthorpe. She's a Sophie Anstruther. Sophie Anstruther Calthorpe.
Oh, Sophie, welcome, Sophie.
I would recommend.
Calthorpe.
I would recommend recording this and using it as a phone. Wendy Keast, Wendy Keast,
Wendy Keast, Wendy Keast, Wendy Keast.
Go from
Wendy,
west
Wendy,
to
Wendy
the
Keast.
east. Wendy Keast, from
Welcome.
west to east.
Welcome.
Della, 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 Della,
Della, Della, Della, Della,
Nixon. Della,
Geraldine
Della,
McHugh.
Della, Della, Della,
Della, Della, Della, Della, Della, Della,
Nixon.
Della, 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 Della,
That cheered me up.
Della, Della, Della,
Della,
Della,
Della,
Della,
Della,
Della,
Nixon.
Nixon.
Geraldine McKeown.
I've subscribed for 10 months. Can I have a hi?
You can have a hi. You can sing a name.
Geraldine McHugh, Geraldine McHugh, welcome to the family guest area.
For 10 months. Geraldine
Area.
McKeown. Are we getting it right? Are we getting it wrong? Geraldine McKeown. There you go.
Group hug.
Group
Little
hug.
kumbaya. We haven't done this for ages. Kumbaya, my lord. Kumbaya. Kumbaya, my lord. Kumbaya.
Chin chin, guys.
Someone's crying,
Pure
my
vodka.
lord. Lots of you asking when I'm doing the cooking with Joe Swash. It's definitely happening tonight on Instagram. He's called me this morning.
Oh.
Let me see if I've got a time.
Kumbaya. Cover your ears, everyone.
Oh, Lord.
Piers Morgan doesn't do that.